The alien students, many from peaceful and technologically advanced civilizations, initially approached their lesson on Earth's history with a sense of superiority. To them, Deathworlds like Earth were chaotic places where no truly intelligent species could evolve without eventually destroying themselves. They had never encountered a race that had survived such hostile conditions for as long as humanity had. The lesson began innocently enough, with Professor Vlor introducing humanity's earliest weapons, simple tools like sharpened stones, wooden spears, and crude slings. The students chuckled at these primitive instruments, finding them almost amusing compared to the advanced, non-lethal technologies their societies had developed. However, their amusement soon gave way to curiosity as they realized the importance of these simple tools. On Earth, these were not just weapons, they were essential for survival. As the holographic projection displayed early human history, the students learned how humans had used these weapons to protect themselves from predators, hunt for food, and defend their tribes against rival groups. Earth, it seemed, was not just a dangerous planet, it was a world that forced its inhabitants to be constantly on guard. The alien students, coming from worlds where conflict had been minimized or even eradicated, couldn't fathom a life where every day could be a battle for survival. They had been taught that violence was primitive, a sign of a species that had not yet reached the heights of civilization. Yet, here was a species that had thrived on it. Humanity had not only survived these conditions, but had evolved to master them. The more the students learned, the more they began to understand that these early weapons were far more than simple tools of aggression. They were a testament to human ingenuity, creativity, and adaptability. Every spear, club, and arrow was carefully designed, honed over time to be as effective as possible in the face of Earth's myriad dangers. It wasn't just about brute force, it was about strategy, innovation, and survival. The alien students, who had previously viewed Earth as a backwards, dangerous place, began to see that the humans' connection to their weapons was deeply tied to their ability to thrive on such a hostile planet. Each new advancement in weaponry reflected a species that had learned to bend even the harshest environments to its will, turning adversity into opportunity. The students started to grasp the deeper truth. Humans had been forced to innovate from the very beginning, and their weapons were not just tools of destruction, but symbols of their ability to adapt to the worst conditions imaginable. From this realization, the students began to respect the humans' resourcefulness, understanding that the evolution of their weaponry was also the story of their survival in a world that never stopped testing them. As the lesson delved into the industrial age, the alien students were unprepared for the sheer scale of destruction that human warfare had reached. The transition from swords and bows to mechanized warfare was abrupt and overwhelming. The holograms shifted from images of knights and archers to battlefields filled with massive, smoke-belching machines, artillery that could level entire cities, and soldiers equipped with rifles capable of mowing down rows of enemies in seconds. The Industrial Revolution had transformed not just the tools of war, but the nature of warfare itself. No longer were battles confined to distant fields or fortresses. War had become total, engulfing entire nations in its wake. The students watched with growing unease as the lessons moved from one devastating conflict to another. The introduction of tanks, airplanes, and submarines painted a picture of a species that had taken war to new heights of brutality. Trenches lined with barbed wire, endless artillery bombardments, and the horrifying use of chemical weapons during World War I left the students deeply unsettled. They had seen nothing like this in their own histories, where conflict was rare and typically resolved long before it reached such devastating levels. But here, on Earth, war had grown into a terrifying machine, grinding down everything in its path. What disturbed the students even more was how humans seemed to accept this as part of their world. Where their own civilizations had long since abandoned the notion of war as a necessity, humans had embraced it, finding ways to make it more efficient, more destructive, and more far-reaching with each new advancement. The use of technology, something the alien students had always associated with progress and peace, was here being used to create death on an unimaginable scale. The alien students found themselves grappling with the reality that, for humans, technology and destruction were inseparable. The invention of airplanes added another chilling layer to their understanding of human warfare. With the ability to take to the skies, humans had gained the power to rain destruction from above, striking targets far from the front lines, bringing war to civilian populations, and changing the very rules of engagement. The alien students struggled to comprehend the sheer devastation that could be wrought from such heights, as bombing raids and airstrikes became a staple of modern human warfare. But the most shocking moment of all came with the introduction of nuclear weapons. The students sat in stunned silence as the lesson detailed the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The level of destruction these weapons unleashed was unlike anything they had ever imagined. Weapons capable of vaporizing entire cities in an instant, leaving nothing but ash and radiation in their wake. were beyond anything their peaceful civilizations could fathom. These weapons marked a new era in warfare, one where entire species could be threatened with extinction at the push of a button. The alien students were left grappling with the horrifying reality that humans, in their relentless pursuit of survival, had created the means to destroy not only their enemies but their entire planet. As the lesson transitioned from the primitive era into the medieval period, the alien students began to witness a striking shift in humanity's approach to warfare. No longer were the weapons simple tools designed for survival against the wild beasts of Earth now. They had become instruments of power, conquest, and strategy. The students watched in silence as holographic projections displayed images of swords, shields, and armored knights. Battles were no longer isolated skirmishes between small tribes. They were massive, organized conflicts between nations, each vying for dominance and resources. Castles and fortresses dotted the landscapes, symbols of human ingenuity in defense and siege warfare. The alien students were shocked at the level of sophistication human warfare had reached during this period. They had long since discarded the need for physical combat, relying on diplomacy and technology to resolve conflicts. Yet here were the humans, in an era where personal strength and battle tactics were essential to survival. The introduction of longbows and crossbows particularly fascinated the students. Here was a species that had not only mastered close combat but had developed ranged weaponry capable of inflicting devastating damage from a distance. The precision and deadly effectiveness of these weapons left the students in awe, realizing that humans, even in this time, were always seeking ways to gain an advantage, to outthink and outmaneuver their enemies. But the technological evolution didn't stop there. The introduction of early firearms and cannons marked another leap forward. The alien students observed how the very landscape of battle had changed. What once required thousands of soldiers and weeks of siege could now be achieved with a single well-placed cannon shot. Humanity's constant need for innovation, fueled by both external and internal threats, pushed their weapons technology further and further. War was no longer just about who was the strongest or the most numerous. It was about who could outthink their opponent, who could wield the most advanced tools of destruction. The students began to understand that, unlike their own civilizations, humanity's advancement in technology was inseparably tied to their capacity for war. Every conflict, every battle, every war had driven them to innovate, to improve, to survive. And with each advancement came a new era of destruction, but also of progress. The alien students, who had once dismissed human warfare as barbaric, now realized that it was a crucial part of their development. Each leap in weaponry was a reflection of humanity's relentless drive to adapt and overcome any obstacle, whether it came from nature or from their fellow humans. As the lesson neared its conclusion, the alien students were confronted with the sobering truth: human weapons were more than mere instruments of destruction. They were the embodiment of humanity's unyielding will to survive and adapt. The projections showed modern Earth, a world scarred by its own history of conflict yet brimming with technological marvels. The students observed how humanity had evolved from using simple spears and arrows to developing advanced, multifunctional weaponry capable of unimaginable destruction. This evolution was not just about technological advancement, but about the very essence of human resilience and ingenuity. The class explored contemporary military technology, including precision-guided missiles, advanced fighter jets, and cutting-edge cyber warfare techniques. The alien students were introduced to a world where warfare had transcended physical battlefields and entered the realm of digital conflict. Here, attacks were not only launched with physical weapons but with lines of code that could cripple entire nations' infrastructures. This new form of warfare revealed another dimension of human conflict, one that was invisible yet profoundly impactful. The students realized that humanity had found new ways to wield power, adapt to emerging threats, and continue their struggle for survival in an increasingly complex world. The study of modern Earth also included a look at the psychological and societal impacts of war. The students learned how the constant presence of conflict had shaped human cultures, influencing everything from media and entertainment to politics and societal values. Humans had developed a unique relationship with their weapons in warfare, one where their constant readiness for conflict had become a fundamental part of their identity. This relationship was reflected not only in their technology but in their very way of life. The alien students were struck by how human weaponry was a reflection of their species' broader traits. Humanity's constant innovation in weaponry was not merely a response to external threats but a reflection of their internal drive to overcome adversity. They saw that the development of human weapons was inextricably linked to the broader narrative of human survival and progress. Each weapon, from the most primitive to the most advanced, was a testament to humanity's ability to face and conquer challenges, no matter how insurmountable they seemed. The students were left with the profound realization that human weapons were more than just tools of war. They were symbols of a species that had turned every aspect of their existence into a battle for survival. This understanding reshaped their perception of humanity, showing them that what they had once viewed as primitive brutality was actually a sophisticated and deeply ingrained aspect of human nature. The weapons, with all their destructive potential, were a mirror reflecting humanity's relentless pursuit of survival, resilience, and adaptability in the face of a harsh and unforgiving world. The alien students, once dismissive of humanity as a primitive and violent species, now saw them in a new light. Their perception had been transformed through the exploration of human history and its relentless progression of weaponry. What once appeared to be mindless brutality now revealed itself as a story of unparalleled resilience, adaptability, and ingenuity. Humans had not only survived their death world but had thrived within its hostile conditions, using their weapons not merely for destruction but as tools of survival, progress, and innovation. The students realized that, unlike their own civilizations, which had achieved peace through technological and societal advancements, humanity had been forged in the fires of conflict, where survival was never guaranteed, and every advance was hard-earned. The sheer scale of human tenacity, from the simple stone tools to the planet-threatening power of nuclear weapons, was a reflection of a species that had learned to harness its environment's harshest elements and turn them to its advantage. In the end, the alien students came to understand that humanity's connection to their weapons was not rooted in a lust for destruction but in a deep-seated need to endure, overcome, and ultimately flourish in the most dangerous of worlds. This revelation left them in awe, their former superiority humbled by the realization that, in many ways, humans had not just survived their death world, they had conquered it.